I don't know. Whoa, do that again.
I see a flag.
No, it's not.
I see a flag.
We play when the flag bearers get to the middle of the podium and are facing the stage. Guys, put your sleeves down and fix your ties. Put your sleeve down and fix your ties. Yeah, but then...
Mine okay?
Your tie check. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
Dylan.
We're probably not going to play this one. She wants me to wait that long. You see, everyone's playing right now. No, they completely flipped out last year when I started early. They got very upset. They want me to wait till the flag bearers get all the way to the podium and are facing the podium. So we're really only playing for them to come in, I think, the gate and to sit down. Me too. I totally get burned. I always forget to put on sunscreen. Oh, we probably assumed.
No, I'm saying maybe do pickle on something. Miss S.
I don't know, Chris. So I gotta kind of pay attention. I kind of gotta pay attention right now. Stand by. Or if she looks at me and starts, stop listening, please. Coney Island, I know what to do. It's original as well. It's wearing like 5-inch lips. The really tall, like, short skirt with a long skirt over it and really big heels. Look at her shoes are made. They're Jenny Carifa shoes.
Gosh, baby. Daddy doesn't wear platforms, though.
No, she wears heels. Straight up heels.
Turn light about.
Alright. This is Krieger. Just making sure I got it. pomp and circumstance up. Looks so pretty. No. They come right through the middle, but we have to wait for the flag bearing, guys. That's our cue. See? Mrs. Krieger, where'd you go? I lost her. Alright, see the flag bearers. I don't see Mrs. Krieger. Where's she? Oh, there she is. Is that her? Yeah, she's just really short. Totally should have set up a sprinkler outside the banner and we could all just walk through it on the way in. Walk through a sprinkler on the way in. Oh, cool. I like it. Is Mrs. Krieger standing next to the Air Force? No, that's not her. She's got her dad. Who's taking your picture? You're totally in my room. Alright, Joe, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, I lost my biz. Where'd she go? Where's Annie? Oh, there she is.
I hope I get to sit behind Vinny.
Squeeze between Vinny and me, I feel bad.
Hey, Tom, I gotta tell you something. Hey, Tom, I gotta tell you something.
Yeah, you can play strong because you're outside, but in tune.
I didn't quite hear you.
Yeah, I did.
Here come the flag bearers, though.
Hey, Vinny, belly buster.
You go, ready? Set, and.
Right. Good evening, and welcome to the 122nd commencement exercise of the Enfield High School as we honor our graduates of the class of 2014. My name is Christopher LaPointe, and I am the class president. Carrying the American flag is Corey Kaczynski, who is joining the United States Air Force. Carrying the state flag is Thomas Watson, who is entering the United States Army. They are led by Lieutenant Colonel Richard Fairley, our United States Air Force Academy liaison officer. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now invite Senior Lauren Antonello to come forward to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Post the colors.
Tonight is a joyful celebration in which we recognize the accomplishments of our graduating class. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our students. I ask your cooperation so that we can make this a truly dignified ceremony for the class of 2014. Please be sure to turn off all cell phones and other noise-making devices. Please remain in your seats for the entire program so that you don't obstruct someone's view. Before we continue with the program, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize a few people who have joined us here this evening. Mr. Thomas Serrard, Chairperson of the Enfield Board of Education. Mr. Vincent Grady, Secretary of the Enfield Board of Education. Board of Education members, Mrs. Tina LeBlanc, Mr. Raymond Peabody, Mrs. Stacy Thurston, Mrs. Lori Unghire, Mayor Scott Copen, Town Council members, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jeffrey Schuman, Deputy Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Christopher Drezick, Chief Academic Officer, Mrs. Ann McKernan, Chief Information Officer, Mr. Guy Barassa, Chief Personnel Officer, Mr. John Kosha, Principal, Mrs. Jill Krieger, Assistant Principals, Mr. Andrew Longy and Mr. Steven Sargalski, Class of 2014 Advisors, Mrs. Judy Joslin, Mrs. Denise Krasinski, Mr. Bruce Hargraves, Mr. John Wiley, Ms. Karen Kloutman, members of the Enfield High School faculty, valedictorian of the class of 2014, Mr. Robert Hunt, salutatorian of the class of 2014, Miss Melissa Marshall, parents, and other honored guests. Good evening, Board of Education members, administrators, educators, proud family members and friends, and of course, graduates of the Enfield High School class of 2014. First and foremost, I would like to ask you to give the students that are seated before you a round of applause because they have made it to the day they have been seeking for the past 4 years. The class of 2014 embraced many new students, championed the Rachel's Challenge program, excelled in the classroom and on the playing fields, and we have done it all with the unique flair that only we could have. As a class, we have set a precedent for the underclassmen to follow and have been role models to them. I still remember freshman year when we were gathered for an assembly the very first time, and Mr. Longy told all of us that he was looking forward to watching our class grow and that we could become one of the best classes the school has ever seen. Well, my friends, look at us now. It is no small feat to have ended up where we are today and to have made such an impact on the school we've attended for the past 4 years. And we have definitely proven Mr. Longy right in his prediction. Of course, none of this is at all possible without the dedication and hard work of the teachers, administration, and staff. They are the ones that had to deal with our grouchiness in the mornings and the ones that would be available to work after school with anything that we needed. The teachers at our school are absolutely incredible. In every single department, you will find individuals that are so passionate about their work and that have influenced the lives of countless young adults. The list of teachers that have made my 4 years here at EHS a pleasure would be far too lengthy to read. So I've decided to single out 2 that have had the most amazing impact on my life and my future goals. Mr. Sean Patrick Crane and Mr. Jason McMahon are 2 educators that go above and beyond the material they teach in the classroom. In fact, both have inspired me to pursue a career in education as well, because if I have even half the effect on young adults like they have had on me, I will know that I am successful. They are 2 unbelievable teachers and even better people. Thank you guys, and thank you to all of the teachers I have left out. You have all been wonderful, and we would not be the people we are today without you. The administration at our school, as we graduates know, is second to none. How many other assistant principals drop to the floor and start breakdancing during class night? Mr. Longy and Mr. Sargalski are two good-hearted people that are amazing at their jobs and have even maybe worked us out of a jam more times than we'd like to admit. And again, because of the impact they have had on my life alone, I hope to pursue school administration after teaching. The class of 2014 welcomed Mrs. Krieger and watched as she so graciously filled the gigantic shoes of Mr. Duffy. She has done an outstanding job, and on behalf of the class of 2014 and the entire school as a whole, I would like to wish her only the best of luck at Manchester and happiness in any and all of her future endeavors. I would also not be where I am today without the incredible support network I've accumulated over the years. Coaches, teachers, friends, and everyone in between have guided me along my high school journey, but there are two people deserving of recognition. My best friend, Stephen Roy, and my girlfriend, Jordan Walsh, have been there for me through thick and thin, and I cannot thank them enough for everything they have done for me. I know that there are also friends and people that have had an immeasurable impact in attendance tonight, and I thank you for helping my fellow graduates and I on our path through life as we try to find ourselves. I'd like to take this time to thank my wonderful parents for everything they have done for me, not just over the past 4 years, but the entire 18 years of my existence. I would definitely not be half the person I am today without their guidance and unconditional love. They are the two greatest people I know. Tom and Janice LaPointe, thank you for granting me the honor of being your son, and I love you both more than you will ever know. I know that there are many parents and guardians in the audience that have shaped the lives of my fellow graduates tonight, and you will watch them walk across this stage and be overcome with the immense pride that comes with graduation. On behalf of every member of the class of 2014, I thank you. Now is the time where I'm supposed to give some amazing, jaw-dropping, insightful look into the future and advise you on how to live your lives. However, I am not equipped to do such a task, as I'm graduating alongside you and do not have any additional experience past this point. What I can share with you is a little quote that I found. As most of you know, I play baseball, and I really think it offers good analogies for life. As Babe Ruth once put it, every strike brings me closer to the next home run. I've always loved that quote because it links the game of baseball to the game of life. The road to success is not one from point A to point B, but rather a winding path filled with treacherous obstacles and, yes, strikeouts. But the beautiful thing about baseball and about life is that your turn will come around again. And what you make of that opportunity is up to you, whether it be a base hit or a home run. Don't be afraid to swing for the fences, because home runs are far more memorable than the strikeouts you may face. And you never know when you may get your last at-bat. Make the most of your life and the most of every swing, and never, ever fear striking out. In conclusion, I'm proud of every single graduate that stands alongside me, and I will miss so many of you as we begin our adult lives. But I take solace in the fact that I will always have the memories that we've made together, and that we will always be Raiders. Now is the time to celebrate all of the hard work and successful procrastination we have accomplished, because we made it. Congrats, class of 2014. We made it. Please join me in welcoming Bobby Hunt to present our class gift.
The class of 2014 would like to present Enfield High School with 2 benches and a tree that will be used in the newly renovated Enfield High School. The benches will have a plaque that acknowledges this gift from the class of 2014. Thank you.
At this time, I would ask our exchange student, Trine Mathiasen from Denmark, and Mrs. Krieger, our principal, to please come forward for the exchange of flags.
We have had the privilege of having a wonderful young woman, Trine Mathiasen, spend this year at Enfield High School. Trine, at this time, I would like to exchange flags with you as a symbol of the experience we have shared this year and the lifelong bond that we will share forever. So I'm giving Trine the United States flag and a Connecticut flag, and she's sharing the Denmark flag with me. At this time, Trine would like to say a few words.
Hi. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Trine Mathiasen and I'm from Denmark. I have had the pleasure of being an exchange student here at Enfield High the past 10 months. I have had an overall good experience, but this is it. This is where it all ends. I knew this had to come, but I never realized it would be so soon. I've been away from home for 295 days today, and for the past month I've been extremely excited to go back to Denmark. But now I'm standing here with only 7 days left in Enfield, and I don't want to leave. I will soon fight the tears and give hugs and goodbyes to the people who have meant the most to me lately. The people who at one point didn't know anything about me, and yet they agreed to open their homes and hearts to me. The people I was randomly put in classes with and who later became my new best friends. The people who have showed me cultures and religions and parts of the world I've never seen before. The people who helped me find myself. In a few days, I will come into town in Denmark and I'll see the familiar roads and buildings, and it will seem like only yesterday. I will see the people I had to fight the tears with and give hugs and goodbyes to a year ago. I will slowly get back to the normal life I used to live. I will soon start to realize how much things have changed and how much I have changed. I will desperately try to hold on to every friend or new family member I've got and every memory from Enfield. But sooner or later, I will have to realize that I have a lot to leave behind. 7 days from now, I will leave. I will pack the rest of my clothes down in my suitcases. I will see Enfield one last time before I get on the flight back to Denmark. I won't have any more sleepovers with my new best friends, and no more speaking my second language every day, and no more friends laughing at the words I can't pronounce. I've asked myself this question: how long will it take me before I miss Enfield and all the people I met? And I think the answer is, missing someone isn't about how long it has been since you've seen them or the amount of time since you talked. Missing someone isn't about how long it has been since you've seen them or the amount of time since you talked. It's about that very moment when you're doing something and wishing they were right there with you. For me, it will be during fall and spring. My field hockey and softball girls will be missed so much. Even though it's going to be hard, I feel so lucky. How lucky am I to have something that makes goodbyes so hard? But I really hope this isn't a goodbye. I hope this is an I'll see you later, because distance means so little when people mean so much. And even though we have 3,646 miles as our distance, I really do hope we keep in touch, because I'll miss you all. Thank you, and I'll never forget you.
At this time, I would like to introduce the Enfield High School salutatorian of the class of 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss Melissa Marshall.
Welcome, administrators, faculty, family, and friends. Thank you for attending the commencement ceremony for Enfield High School's class of 2014 and supporting all the students who succeeded to be here this evening. The past 4 years created many tensions, pressures, and excitements for each and every one of us seated before you. As a whole, I've never met a better group of individuals. Each of us holds a special chromosomal difference that creates the person we are. We're all rare and we're all unique. In more ways than one, we're a collection of diamonds. Science has proven that extreme amounts of pressure make diamonds, or they are formed by a volcanic eruption deep beneath the Earth's crust. Diamonds are not discovered as the sparkling, fine-cut, 24-karat jewel that you see on your mother's ring finger. Everyone has jagged, rough edges and a dull shine. It's strong, hard, and unbreakable. It's hidden from the rest of the world until someone finds it to determine its worth. This was us freshman year of high school. Every teacher, adult, and peer influenced us in one way or another. We were a treasure, something great that was dug up from the dirt. We were born with intelligence and ways to deal with the world. Our friends taught us how relationships worked and how to laugh. Our teachers, parents, taught us discipline and hard work. All of those are useful tools for the world, but what about all you've taught yourself? As a member of the senior class, I've met and learned something about every other person in this group. We've grown as individuals from raw, rough freshmen to sophisticated, sparkling seniors. When I asked what created the person you are today on graduation, I received a variety of answers. What is the biggest influence on your life? We've all matured and we've all grown over the past 4 years. We've learned from our mistakes, whether it be academic or life-altering. We've all dealt with changes and challenges. Some of us gained confidence and the motivation to succeed. Some of us fought against our emotions and we've accepted who we truly are. This journey is about learning from the eruption of emotions inside of you. It's your own volcano, and sometimes you have to pick up the diamonds that form around you and ignore the tar that covers the rocks. Everything we learn, everything that forms us into the ever-changing individual we become, there's a growing sparkle to who you are. Every single one of us is special and rare. There's something about us that is different than the person next to you. So, what makes you special? Was it the grades you fought for? Or is it the position and accomplishments on your sport team? Maybe it is how much you've grown over the years and how well you overcame the obstacles and issues in your life. Or is it the culture you are a part of? Do you speak a different language? Parce que je parle dans une autre langue, et toi? Every single tiny characteristic that makes you special adds a certain beauty to who you are. Every day, you're becoming more of a gem, a diamond, of who you're supposed to become. As a high school senior, you've learned what the true meaning of pressure is. The pressure to get into a good school, the pressure to get financial aid and scholarships, the pressure to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life, and the pressure of realizing your dreams might not be obtainable. Don't forget the pressure you went through to receive good grades, maintain a steady job, and keep happy friends. It definitely wasn't an easy year for any of us. But we're here today. It's the 19th of June, 2014. Breathe. Think. The pressure you went through created something beautiful. You. You're past the pressures of high school, and even though you're not perfect yet, your rough edges are slowly being smoothed out. Whatever the future holds for you, college, career, military, always remember what great amounts of pressure create. A diamond. Thank you for this honor.
Melissa, I would like to present you with this official citation introduced by Representative David Alexander, Representative David Kiner, and Senator John Kissel, and it reads in part, "Be it hereby known to all, the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers you its sincerest congratulations. The entire membership extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued success." Congratulations. Mr. Sargalski is going to present this citation to Melissa's family.
At this time, I would like to introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2014, who will give the valedictory address. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Robert Hunt.
Good evening, fellow classmates, family, friends, administration, staff, and other distinguished guests. Welcome to graduation. I would first like to congratulate the class of 2014 for how far we have come. It feels surreal that we are graduating. Our routine of getting up early in the morning, going to school, and waiting for the bell to ring at 2:02 is about to change. However, with a big change on the horizon, we certainly have been preparing our minds. As we soon will be parting on our own ways, let us remember all that we have been through. We have come so far from when we were little kids, worrying about leaving the safety of our moms and dads to get on the big yellow school bus. Though we aren't afraid of the bus anymore, our worries have metamorphosed into more grown-up issues. We will never forget when we worried about what life after high school would bring, college, military, or the workforce. And now, those prospects loom largely in front of us. We will forever remember the funny times, the stressful ones, the embarrassing moments, the awesome teachers, and the learning experiences. But wait, we didn't go to school just for the memories. There was always one clear, predominant goal to achieve: to prepare our minds to go out in the world and conquer it. And we are prepared. Since we need a license to do just about anything nowadays, our licenses to conquer the world will be arriving in just a few minutes. They're pretty cool. They have our names printed on them, and they come packaged in a neat little green folder. Although this license may be a testament to how much intelligence we have gained, it is meaningless unless we use our intelligence for this big task of conquering the world. After all, a license means nothing unless you use it. It opens the world up to you. It gives you access, helps you get places. With diploma in hand, we'll need just one more thing: our backpacks. Mine is ready to go. While it is no longer filled with the typical school supplies like a binder, paper, or pen, as it has been for the last 13 years, It is filled with the skills I've acquired and never want to forget in my quest. Knowledge, wisdom, experience. We will carry and use these abstract supplies with us for the rest of our lives, adding more as we grow. My hope for all of us is that we use these skills that we have acquired and learned to make wise decisions so that we can have meaningful, happy lives. Alexander Graham Bell once said, "Before anything else, preparation is the key to success." So, license in hand, backpack ready, here we go. We are prepared. Our adventure continues. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2014.
Bobby, I'd like to present you with this official citation introduced by Representative David Kiner, Representative David Alexander, Senator John Kissel, and it reads, "Be it hereby known to all, the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers you its sincerest congratulations. The entire membership extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses hope for continued success. Congratulations." And Mr. Longy will be presenting this to Bobby's family. Dr. Schuman, Mr. Serrard, Mayor Copen, members of the Board of Education, members of the Town Council, Enfield High School faculty and staff, invited guests, parents, and most importantly, the members of the class of 2014. Tonight I welcome you all as we join together as members of the Enfield High School family to honor our distinguished graduates. Congratulations to you, the members of Enfield High School, class of 2014. Tonight we honor and congratulate you for your 13 years of hard work and dedication. We have a number of retirees this year on our faculty, 3 of whom are here tonight, and I would like to ask Mr. Steve Smith, Mr. Dennis Gerard, and Senora O'Neill to please stand. Thank you for all you've done for us. This is an especially exciting night for all of us. I'd like to begin by asking that all of the grandparents of the members of the class of 2014 please stand. Graduates, these people love you, take pride in everything you do, and will always have your best interest at heart. Please give them a big round of applause. Now I would like to ask that all of the parents and guardians of the members of the class of 2014 please stand. Graduates, these people love you like no other. To them, it seems like a short time ago they were sending you off to kindergarten. We know how much they have contributed to your reaching this important milestone. You have no idea how proud they are tonight. They are and will always be your biggest supporters. Please give your parents a round of applause. To the members of the class of 2014, tonight I'm going to follow up on what Mr. Longy started at class night. Don't worry, I'm not going to break dance. I'm going to speak about kindness, character, and passion. Your class has a reputation. That is a reputation for being kind. Enfield High School has Raiders Rewards and Rachel's Challenge, programs that focus on relationships, respect, and kindness. But these characteristics are a part of you. You had them before you were told that you should. I encourage you to always stay focused on these things. As you go through life, the relationships that you have will bring you the most meaning and joy. The way you choose to treat people around you will always matter. Always choose to be kind, caring, and thoughtful. Stay away from gossip and hurtful words. I guarantee that if you make these choices, you will be a happier person. When you think about your life's work, I offer 2 pieces of advice. Find something that you love to do and that will allow you to support yourself. We spend so much of our life working. It's truly a gift when you find something to do that is meaningful and personally fulfilling. As most of you know, my time as the principal of Enfield High School is coming to an end. It has been my pleasure to be a part of this special place. I hope that you will always reflect positively on your time here and the relationships that you have formed. I know that I will. My parting words, the same ones I give to my children each time they leave home, are: have fun, be safe, and make good decisions. Thank you. Dr. Schumann, on behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff of Enfield High School, I proudly present to you the graduating class of 2014. They have satisfactorily completed all of the graduation requirements of Enfield High School and of the Enfield Public Schools.
Please help me welcome our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jeffrey Schumann.
Thank you, Chris. Picture a bright blue ball, spinning free. It's dizzying, possibilities. Good evening and welcome. Tonight we gather to celebrate a mark in time, honoring this fine group of graduating seniors and ushering them into the next phase of their life. The bright blue ball mentioned a moment ago, our Earth is spinning free and fast, rotating at over 1,000 miles per hour and revolving around the sun at 6,600 miles per hour. Yet we appear to be frozen in time as we attend tonight's graduation ceremony and contemplate the truly endless possibilities for each of us, and especially for our graduates to experience after we finish here tonight. As Ferris Bueller said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Reflecting back on Father's Day, I visited the cemetery, stopping at the grave sites of my father-in-law, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, and next to each of them were the stones for my great-grandmother, my grandmother, and my mother-in-law. And they all pretty much contain the same information, yet they were very, very different people. On my mother-in-law's was her birthday, and next to her stone stood my 96-year-old mother-in-law. There were 2 things missing from her stone that weren't on all the others: a dash and a second date. Garth Brooks wrote a song that ends, "There's 2 dates in time that they'll carve on your stone, and everyone knows what they mean. What's more important is the time that is known in that little dash there in between. A dash hardly seems representative of a life. And certainly life is not a straight line journey. Perhaps a tilde would be better. Or better yet, something that looks like an EKG screen going up and down and then moving sideways and then going up and down again. Truth is, no punctuation mark or geometric shape chiseled into a granite can define the uniqueness of our lives. Only we can define our dash, and we do that by the way we live our life. At 96, my mother-in-law hasn't finished defining hers. Tonight I ask our graduates, what will you make of yours? There are two kinds of people in the world. One kind, you can tell by looking at them at what point they congealed into their final selves. It might be a very nice self, but you know you can expect no more surprises from it. Whereas the other kind keeps moving, changing. With these people, you can never say, X stops here, or now I know all there is to know about Y. They are fluid. They keep moving forward and making new trysts with life, and the motion of it keeps them young. In my opinion, they're the only ones still alive. So class of 2014, will your dash be adventurous, extraordinary, successful? Let's explore those for a moment. The test of an adventure is that when you're in the middle of it, you say to yourself, oh, now I've gotten myself into an awful mess, and I wish I were sitting quietly at home. And the sign that something's wrong with you is when you're sitting quietly at home and wishing you were out having lots of adventure. What we would like for you is that you have just the right amount of time sitting at home quietly and just the right amount of adventure. Will your dash be extraordinary? Well, extraordinary doesn't just happen. Works of artistry, significance, and greatness are the product of intention. Being intentional about how you live life and the kind of difference you want to make is the first step towards being extraordinary. So live with intent, purpose, and above all, passion. Will you be successful? I suppose that depends on how you define success. I'd like to share with you a poem that may help you come to that definition. We used to read to our students all the time. I still remember beautiful spring afternoons sitting under a tree listening to our third grade teacher reading Charlotte's Web to us. Perhaps we've cheated you by not doing enough of that during your school years. However, this particular poem uses an athletic contest as a metaphor to describe a successful life. It talks about winning and victory, as did legendary Green Bay Packers football coach Vince Lombardi, who said the object of the game is to win, fairly, squarely, by the rules, but to win. In life, winning may be defined as success. Another legendary coach from UCLA, John Wooden, defined success as peace of mind attained only through self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you are capable. Let's hear that again. Peace of mind attained only through the self-satisfaction of knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you are capable. So here's the poem, The Road Ahead or the Road Behind by John Moriarty. Sometimes I think the fates must grin as we denounce them and insist the only reason we can't win is the fates themselves have missed. Yet, there lives on an ancient claim we win or lose within ourselves. The shining trophies on our shelves can never win tomorrow's game. You and I know deeper down there is a chance to win the crown, but when we fail to give our best, we simply haven't met the test of giving all and saving none until the game is really won, of showing what is meant by grit, of forging on when others quit, of playing through, not letting up, it's bearing down that wins the cup, of dreaming there's a goal ahead, of hoping when our dreams are dead, of praying when our hopes have fled, yet losing, not afraid to fall if bravely we have given all. For who can ask more of a man than giving all within his span? Giving it all, it seems to me, is not so far from victory. And so the fates are seldom wrong, no matter how they twist and wind. It's you and I who make our fates. We open up or close the gates on the road ahead or the road behind. Class of 2014, on behalf of the Enfield Public Schools family and the Enfield community, we wish you success, hope, and prosperity. Go forward with deep passion and great purpose. Define your dash. Live your life. Congratulations and Godspeed. Members of the Enfield Board of Education, by the authority bestowed upon me by the state of Connecticut, I do hereby certify that the class of 2014 has successfully met or exceeded all of the requirements prescribed by the Connecticut Department of Education and the Enfield Board of Education. Chairman Serrard, I recommend the awarding of diplomas.
And now for the presentation of the diplomas, please help me welcome the chairman of the Enfield Board of Education, Mr. Thomas Serrard.
To the graduating class of 2014, congratulations to all of you. Your graduation marks the end of the easiest part of your lives. When you get to be my age, you'll look back at this time and you'll realize the truth in that statement. I didn't say best or worst. I said easiest. The road ahead's not written in stone. That road will be paved in the consequences of thousands of personal decisions. You and you alone are the masters of your destiny. To help you along on this road, I've come up with a few suggestions. A few things that I've learned that I wish I knew when I was in your shoes. From here on out, save at least 10% of everything that you've ever earned. Trust me, you're going to thank me sooner than you think. Never argue issues, argue principles. Only when you do that can you be consistent and avoid hypocrisy. Arguing issues leaves you with false choices. Integrity is everything. Never make a promise you can't keep. Never write a check you can't cash. And never expect someone else to pay for your ideas or your decisions. It's not the level of education you have earned or your alma mater that determines your worth. It's what you've done with that education or how you've applied that education that does. Even the School of Hard Knocks is an institute of advanced learning. If you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong room. Either that or you're surrounded by non-adults. Be open-minded and tolerant of other people's opinions. Hard work is a virtue. Never be afraid to work or disrespect those who work hard. Hard work is how you overcome bad luck, how you build success, and how you earn a sense of accomplishment. Nothing builds character and justified self-esteem like hard work. Don't be greedy. Don't begrudge someone who has more than you do. Greed and envy are two sides of the same coin. Be thankful for what you have, and remember that at the end of the game, the pawn and the king get put away in the same box. Life is about relationships, and relationships happen in the real world. The virtual world is fake. Look up. Don't do anything you wouldn't tell your kids about before they are adults. Make a note. Call your mother every Saturday night at 10 o'clock in the evening. Be the best that you can be in everything that you can do. There is no such thing as good enough. Pick your battles. Never wrestle with a pig. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. Just because everyone believes something doesn't make it true. Question everything. Do your own research and vary your sources. Use your head to make decisions. Use your heart to implement them. If you have to spend most of your time justifying your job, it's probably time to find a new job. And there are very, very, very few things worth borrowing money to pay for. Never be afraid to take smart risks. Without risk, there can be no reward. And lastly, live life as if you were dying with an eye to your legacy. Be brave, be kind, be great. I invite Mr. Longi and Mr. Stokowski to forward to read the names.
I'm going to bring this back. Yeah.
Enough room?
Right down here next to Scott.
Good. Okay. All set, everyone?
Valedictorian, Robert Earl Hunt III. Salutatorian, Melissa Rose Marshall. Hassan Mohammed Adan. Sydney Marie Anzalotti. Alyssa Rose Oresco. Darian Sydney Atkins. Lauren Marie Atenello. Victor Foley Atiso. Kyle Thomas Baker. Besmir Baku. Kelsey Bars. Rachel Beers. Benjamin Drew Bedard. Samantha Irene Balecki. Travis Bonanno. Tyler Bonanno. Matthew John Boulette. Ryan C. Bridges. John Raymond Brousseau. Brandon James Butler. Emma Joanne Candib. Jenny Ann Carifa. Jose Carrasquillo. Michael Patrick Casey. Andrew Charles Cezus. Miguel A. Chavez. Jenna Marie Clavet. Jacob J. Collins. Adoni Zedek Colon. Stephanie Cook. Christopher C. Coop. Melanie A. Costalas. Karan A. Crawford. Isaac Daniel Cruz. Jamie Kathleen Cunningham. Whitney Cecilia de Claybrook. Samantha Rose DeLong. Emily Ann Deskey. Ronald Paul Deskey. Erica Catherine Desmond. Zachary Tyler Desmond. Mia Lee Paris DeRoche. Brianna K. Diaz. Ryan C. Dibiaz. Justin Robert Dinsmore. Joshua Brian Donor. Brenna Marie Donovan. Evan A. Downey. Emily DuBois. Philip J. Duncan. Megan Leona Evans. Mark Alexis Falcone. Aaron Fiore Flaherty. Hannah E. Fritz. Joseph James Frost. Alyssa Nicole Gabriel. Ryan George Gates. Christina Faye Georges. Hannah Catherine Gould. Tyler Michael Griffith. Gabriel Grassi. Kyle J. Haber. Andrew Robert Halgus. Kareem Hani Hamad. Victoria L. Hansen. Robert Frederick Hastings. Alex James Hirsch. Brianna Marie Hodgson. Zachary Taylor Hooker. Justin Robert Irish. Samer K. Carrar. Michael Thomas Killian. Emily Beth Kingsbury. Nathaniel James Kissel. Corey James Kozinski. Nicholas John Krasinkiewicz. Megan E. Kutsavage. Elizabeth Sarah Labruna. Justin R. Landry. Christopher Nicholas Lapointe. Gillian Michelle LaRose. Patrick R. LaRussa. Madison Claire LaRusso. Christina Brooke Lemire. Drew Alexander Lassard. Paige Nicole Lockhart. Taylor Rianne Logan. Scott William Lucero. Jesselyn Patricia Lyman.
Taylor N. Mayer. Stephanie Nicole Malicki. Jarrett Michael Maloney. Danielle Elizabeth Martinez. Nicole Nicholas James Martaccio. Trinu Linnea Mathiasen. Marissa Milvey. Taylor Ann Mortimer. Brian Thomas Murphy. Stephen Matthew Mislowick. Sean Nelson. Zachary Nisowitz. Jacob Matthew Nitch. Ashley Marie Olszewski. Mustafa Mohammed Omar. Walter Edward Orsalak. Morgan Alyssa Pafumi. Natalie Pagan. Holly Paul. Michael Vincent Pelletier. Nathan J. Peruta. Danielle Elizabeth Pillion. Amanda Lauren Rader. Mackenzie Ramsdell. Colleen Mary Reeves. Michaela Ray Riley. Maggie May Richards. Sean Patrick Richards. Eugene James Rivers Jr. Alyssa Lorraine Roundbuehler. Jarrett Troy Roland Mooney. Stephen J. Roy. Gabriel Antonio Ruiz. Kristen Mary Seraphin. Steven Javier Serrano. Laurel Riley Sheehan. Brianna Eve Shermer. Allison Erin Sladen. Kyle James Sladen. Matt G. Smedra. Danielle Nicole Smith. Michael Edward Soderquist. Dan James Solmy. Taylor Anne Marie Spooner. Shane E. Squires. Savannah Rose Stoic. Elijah Stone. Marquise I. Talicio. Matthew Joseph Tardif. Chelsea Ann Tatro. Allison Julie Therian. Courtney Madison Therian. Gabriella Noel Tittarelli. Jordan Taylor Trapaz. Tara Timoshew. Mariah Grace Vela. Richard John Wages III. Matthew John Wakely. Jordan Nicole Walsh. Thomas J. Watson. Jacob Stephen Watts. Corey Donald Wells. Kristen Nicole Whalen. Kyle F. Whalen. Sydney Marie Wilcox. Jessica Ray Willoughby.
All right. Graduates, please stand. Graduates, please make sure that your tassel is placed on your right side. Ladies and gentlemen, as my last official act as class president, may I present to you the graduated class of 2014. Thank you to all of our guests for sharing in our commencement. Have a great night.